October 2nd, 1950, a comic strip was added to 7 newspapers nationwide that introduced the world to what would become a beloved cast of memorable characters. Characters that would stand the test of time, that would become animated cartoons and holiday specials that would be passed down generation by generation. Hey everybody, what's up, and welcome back to Macabre'Gorium Labs Holidays 2024. My name is Bats, and I hope you'll join me today as we discuss a holiday classic with It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Tell Linus the wait is over. So in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the Halloween special known as It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. You know the one. Of course, we all know Charlie Brown and the gang are characters created by none other than Charles Schulz for his comic strip, Peanuts. And of course, we will be covering Charles Schulz and his many works in his own video later down the line, at some point. But for now, let's continue with this one. After the previous success of other Peanut specials, Charles Schulz came out with the third Peanut special, which would be his second holiday special. This special would focus on the Great Pumpkin that was first introduced in 1959 with a special 8-day series of the comic strip. The comic strip showcased how Linus would confuse Halloween and Christmas traditions. After that, Charles would continue to write and publish Great Pumpkin stories each October, much to the delight of his fans. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown was written by Charles Schulz and director-animator Bill Melendez. The special was shown on CBS on October 27, 1966, with a runtime of 25 minutes. The music was composed by John Scott Trotter, Lee Mendelson, and jazz pianist Vince Guaraldi. This would include the theme song, Linus and Lucy, as well as the ending song, Charlie Brown's Theme. There were several production companies involved: Lee Mendelson Productions, Bill Melendez Productions, and United Feature Syndicate. Now, since this is the first time we are going to be discussing the Peanuts properties, let's take a look at the voice actors that are featured in this particular special. First up, we have Charlie Brown, voiced by Peter Robbins. Next, we have Sally Brown, voiced by Kathy Steinberg. Snoopy was voiced by Bill Melendez. Linus van Pelt was voiced by Christopher Shea. Lucy Van Pelt was voiced by Sally Dreyer. Pigpen would be voiced by Guy DeFaria. And finally, Patty, who was voiced by Lisa DeFaria. I am totally sorry if I butchered any of those names. And in case you somehow don't know the Great Pumpkin lore, he is a Halloween spirit that rises from a pumpkin patch with a bag of toys to deliver to children that believe in him. Kind of like Santa's bag of toys. But again, Linus had his holiday traditions a little mixed up. Now that you know the details, let's get down to the specifics of this iconic Halloween special. With Halloween fast approaching, the Peanuts crew Linus and Lucy go to the nearby pumpkin patch to pick out their pumpkin to carve that year. Lucy wants a big pumpkin, so she picks out one and forces Linus to carry it home. Once home, she begins to carve the pumpkin, much to Linus's horror. Back at Charlie Brown's house, Charlie is raking the fall leaves in the yard with Snoopy's help, if you can call blowing a leaf around helping. Walking home, Linus spies Charlie Brown's leaf pile, and without thinking about it, jumps right in it, creating more work for Charlie Brown. Not long after that, Lucy shows up with a football, and sets up for the best running joke in the Peanuts timeline. I'm sure we're all familiar with this one. Lucy tells Charlie Brown to kick the football while she holds it for him. With having been through this before, with Lucy pulling the ball away before he can kick it, he refuses at first. But Lucy manages to persuade him, showing him a contract that guarantees she will not pull the ball away. So, of course, Charlie runs up and prepares to kick the ball. And, of course, Lucy pulls it away and he lands flat on his back. He asks Lucy, "What the heck?" And she responds that the contract wasn't notarized. Oh boy. The football gag is massively iconic today, and this was the first time that it was ever animated. Later on, Linus writes his Great Pumpkin letter where he is mocked for his belief by Charlie Brown and Lucy. Charlie then happily tells Lucy he got an invite to Violet's Halloween party too. So on Halloween night, Charlie and the others, except Linus, are getting their costumes on to go trick-or-treating before the party. We're then presented with Lucy being dressed up as a witch and the rest of the gang being dressed up as ghosts. Meanwhile, Linus heads out to the pumpkin patch. Since the Great Pumpkin only appears in a pumpkin patch once a year, Linus only has one chance to see him. Before going to the party, the gang decides to stop at the pumpkin patch to make fun of Linus before going to the party, since he won't be attending with them or going trick-or-treating. Through all of this, Linus doesn't even care about the jokes, as he believes in and will wait for the Great Pumpkin. After explaining more about the Great Pumpkin to Sally, she decides to stay with him because she likes him. Linus is committed to his choice and used to the constant mocking by his friends. However, that doesn't stop Linus from writing and waiting for the Great Pumpkin every Halloween. The others leave to go trick-or-treating before the party, during which Charlie only receives rocks for some reason instead of the expected candy. Another ongoing gag. While the kids are doing this, there is a B story about Snoopy happening on the sideline. Snoopy, dressed up in his World War I Flying Ace costume, gets on his doghouse and pretends he's on a Sopwith Camel fighter plane while battling the Red Baron. During the aerial battle, Snoopy is forced to land on the treacherous countryside behind enemy lines, where he eventually makes his way to Violet's party to meet up with the kids, sneaking into the apple bobbing tank while Lucy is using it. After some time at the party, enjoying the music, Snoopy gets to the pumpkin patch where Linus and Sally are waiting. The kids hear a rustling, and a shadowy figure appears above the pumpkins, and Linus faints, thinking this to be the Great Pumpkin. However, Sally sees it is only Snoopy, which causes her to freak out and start yelling at Linus. She is very upset that she missed out on trick-or-treating and the Halloween party for nothing. The rest of the gang coming home from the party are just in time to see the last of Sally's freakout and watch her storm off. The rest of the gang start home too, with Linus pleading to them to stay with him. He says he will put in a good word with the Great Pumpkin if he comes. Linus realizes he said if and not when the Great Pumpkin came, and is worried that it may have jinxed himself, and that is why the Great Pumpkin has not appeared. The gang leaves Linus in the pumpkin patch and heads home. At about 4 a.m., Lucy wakes up and decides to check on Linus, as he's not in his bed, so Lucy starts to get her winter gear on and goes to the pumpkin patch to retrieve him. In the pumpkin patch, Linus is cold and on the ground with only his special blanket for warmth. Being a good sister, Lucy walks him back to their house and gets him into his own bed before grouchily going back to bed herself. When we catch up with Charlie Brown and Linus the next day discussing Halloween night, Charlie Brown is trying to make Linus feel better by saying, "I've done a lot of stupid things in my life too." Linus has heard enough. He still believes in the Great Pumpkin and that he will see him next year. He continues his rant as the credits roll. Now, this Halloween masterpiece was re-aired by CBS annually from 1966 through the year 2000. Then, ABC acquired the rights in 2001, where it continued until October of 2019. Although the special didn't air in 2020, as by then it had become an Apple TV Plus exclusive, and not all hope was lost since in 2021, PBS started airing it every year. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown was made using a traditional 2D animation style, one we favor very much so here at the Labs. And here in 2024, you can buy this classic on original VHS and DVD at sites like Amazon and eBay. There are also a ton of shirts, blankets, figures, and other merch related to the property. There are even Funko figures of Linus, Snoopy, and Ghost Charlie Brown. You know the one. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is an iconic must-watch for everyone, so if you haven't seen it, you definitely should. It has become a holiday staple around Macabre'Gorium Labs every Halloween. I know that personally I've watched this special so many times I can barely count them. It is one of those specials that makes you think of a simpler time and reminds you of how much fun you had as a kid, preparing your costume and the excitement of going trick-or-treating. This special will always hold fond memories for me and the family. We enjoy sitting down and eating some Halloween candy while watching these goofy childhood specials. At this point, I'd have to say that It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown falls right under the category of a Halloween necessity. But now you know what I think? I've just gotta ask. Were you a fan of the Peanuts Halloween or other holiday specials? If so, what was your favorite part? And if not, what was your favorite holiday special? Have any comments or fun facts? Maybe I forgot something or left something out. Maybe you just have a suggestion for a future video or just want to drop in and say hi. Either way, head on down to the comments and leave something there because I look forward to hearing from you. And with that, unfortunately, we've come to the end of another Macabre'Gorium Labs video. This has been Halloween2024. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Tell Linus the wait is over. I've been your host, Bats, and be sure to check back next time because you never know what we have in store. And as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and of course, keep it creepy. You're going to tell me that pumpkin still hasn't showed up yet? Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.